Hi guys. So I'm going to do a general nutrition astrology reading today. So we're going to focus on the fact that um, the ascendant is in Virgo and the opposition of Virgo is Pisces. So the ascendant sets our daily structure. So we might be feeling very rigid and meticulous about how we're approaching our day to day right now. We might be feeling very conflicted and self deprecating or judgmental or wishing we were being better with our diet or wishing that we were being more on track or feeling the need to get back on track. And this is kind of in conflict to Neptune in Pisces, which is opposing us, which, depending on how this works in your chart, you might be feeling like it doesn't matter. You might be having these conflicting thoughts like, oh, I need to be eating better, but it doesn't matter because I'm not in my body anyway. And you just want to dream instead of cook a good meal. And even though you know you should be getting to the gym or you know you should be eating 3 square meals, or you're trying to do the intermittent diet, or you're trying to eat more vegetables, or whatever your personal goal is, you kind of might feel this overwhelming, conflicting, like, does it really matter? Um, you want to be stuck in your fantasies, or you might actually even be pulled off of your diet thinking that it's not going to help anyways, or if I just do this, it might not really make that much of a difference. Now, the North Node, what's pulling us towards our destiny, is in the 11th house and it's in Cancer. And so that's a very nurturing, it's a nurturing sign in a very social house and an expansion house. So it also might mean that you want to create a business around food, mothering, nurturing, eating, or it might be partially responsible for all the self-care that we want to do. So you want to, depending again on where this is in your chart, that we all want to feel a pull towards taking care of each other and ourselves in groups with others, with food, with decadence, maybe, with foods that are wrong for us, like chocolate or ice cream, and really feeling the pull to do this as if this is our destiny, as if we're meant to um, nurture and entertain and bond with people over food. And all of this can kind of feel, depending on where this is in your chart, can kind of feel in conflict, right? So we've got a little bit, or maybe even a lot of confusion around what to eat, what the activity should be this week. Can you get your diet on track? Feeling the need to be rigid, and then also feeling like, does it really matter? And depending on where it falls, the North Node falls in your chart, or where your North Node is, everybody, the North Node of the world right now is in Cancer and it is in the 11th house. And so, um, or at least, yeah. And so that's friends, groups, taking care of others, nurturing, maybe starting a business, expanding your business, finding like-minded people who want to think the same way as you. The sixth house is clear today. There's nothing in the sixth house in terms of health. So there's no kind of like warning or flags in terms of whether or not your health is affected by your food. And so in that way, it might be a pretty good weekend to kind of shake things up, or if you do need to change your routine, or if you do want to try something new, or try to get yourself on a different diet, or try to get yourself back on track, this might be a good time to do it. There might be some space for you to do this. So I'm going to pull maybe a card of wisdom as to how we can be more wise about our nutrition. Let me see. The sun is in Gemini, as we know right now, as well. And so we also could have vulnerable areas in our throat, our thyroid, our shoulders. And so if there's any inflammation, we also want to focus on eating foods with iodine, so that's seafoods or seaweeds or kelp, um, and taking care of how we talk about food or how we express food. There might be an opportunity to be artistic about food, especially for those of you who want to be in the food industry or want to make changes in food or participating in this greater movement towards the quality of food that we're all kind of participating in right now. As as Uranus is in Taurus and we establish different values over the next 7 years, I think the food industry is going to be a big part of that. And so, we do want to take care of the vulnerable parts of our body and to make sure that, especially like the throat and the communication and the upper shoulders and the upper arms, if you're experiencing tension and you want to eat foods that are anti-inflammatory. So like fatty fishes, like wild salmon or mackerel or omega-3s or walnuts or flax seeds, anti-inflammatory foods, curcumin, turmeric, ginger, cayenne pepper, lemon, like alkaline foods. So not processed, whole foods, plant-based foods. And this is going to be the general reading all the time, but you also want to make sure that there's some salt water. Even if you go to the sea, that's a great way to kind of take care of your thyroid and definitely do some self-expression and express yourself with food, get creative with food, change up your routine, go with your gut, go with your instinct, and mending. So we're kind of mending our relationships with food this week. So if you have been too rigid, or if you've been overindulging, or if you've been choosing packaged foods, or choosing foods that's making you sick, choosing foods that's giving you stomach aches, choosing foods that giving you pain. Sometimes we think that we want to take care of ourselves by doing things that we want, but how long is that lasting? Is that having a long-lasting effect in the positive direction? Is that a constructive habit, or is that ultimately a destructive habit? And so it's the opportunity to make changes, to kind of go within, guys, and to think about how to change your daily routine based on your future self, how you want to see your future self. Are you eating in the way? Are you nourishing yourself? Are you taking care of yourself in the way that's going to accomplish your goals? Or are you simply kind of going back to, feeding yourself in the like on the fly, or when it's convenient, or choosing foods that are all wrong for you just because they're there, making yourself sick and perpetuating a negative tailspin, which is, how basically people have been eating over the last couple of decades, if not longer. Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this. If you do want to have a personal reading, a personal nutrition astrology reading, then please do click the link below. And also, I want to let you know that we talk about much more than nutrition and astrology in Health Club, in my virtual Health Club. That's where myself and a bunch of coaches and some other naturopathic doctors and other physicians even take turns doing virtual workshops where we talk about different aspects of health and self-care, supervising self-care so that you can stay out of the doctor's offices. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you soon.